All right, section 4.1 is talking about rational expressions, right? Simplifying rational expressions. We're also going to go over complex fractions in this section as well. Basically, what we're going to be doing with all of this is a lot more factoring. So the first step whenever you're solving any of these problems in either of the examples is you're going to factor. And once you've factored, then you're going to see if you have any common factors on top and bottom that you can cancel out. So let's start off with example 1. We have x minus 3 over x squared minus 8x plus 15. We can't factor x minus 3, so let's go ahead and just put that on top. But we can factor x squared minus 8x plus 15. If we find two numbers that multiply to get 15 and add to get negative 8, that's going to be negative 3, negative 5. So we can rewrite this as a factored expression. X minus 3 times x minus 5. Now, we can see that we have an x minus 3 on top and an x minus 3 on bottom, so we can cancel those out. When we cancel out everything on the top, though, we still have to put something there. This x minus 5 is going to stay on the bottom, and we're going to put a 1 on top, and that's going to be our final answer. So for this example, we have x squared minus 2x minus 15 over x squared minus 9x plus 20. We're going to have to factor the top and the bottom in this case. So if we factor x squared minus 2x minus 15, that's going to give us x minus 5 and x plus 3. On the bottom, we have x squared minus 9x plus 20. That's going to be x minus 5 and x minus 4. Now, just as we did in the last example, we're going to look to see if there are any that are the same on top and bottom that we can cancel out. In this case, we have x minus 5s that can cancel out. That's going to leave us with x plus 3 over x minus 4. This is our final answer. We can't just cancel out the x's because this one has a 3 added to it, and this one has a minus subtracted from it. We can only cancel them out if they are the same binomial. All right, so now we're going to talk about complex fractions. So a complex fraction is a fraction that has fractions inside of it, right? So as you can see right here with number 3, we have x over 2 minus 3 divided by 4 plus x over 5. In order to solve this, what we're going to do is we're going to simplify the top by itself, we're going to simplify the bottom by itself, and then we're going to keep change flip, divide the fractions. For the top, we have x over 2 minus 3. The first thing we want to do is put this over 1. Now remember that when you're combining fractions, adding or subtracting, you need to find a common denominator. And so in this case, our common denominator is 2. So we're going to do x over 2 minus 6 over 2. And that's going to give us x minus 6 over 2. Now that is our numerator simplified out. For the bottom, we're also going to have to put the 4 over 1. And our common denominator there is going to be 5. So this is going to be 20 over 5 plus x over 5. And that's going to give us 20 plus x over 5. Now we just have a fraction divided by a fraction, and we're going to take care of that by keep change flip. So we do x minus 6 over 2. I'm going to rewrite this as a division problem first. Divided by 20 plus x over 5. We keep change flip. That's going to give us x minus 6 over 2 times 5 over 20 plus x. And then we're just going to multiply across the top and multiply across the bottom. That's going to give us for our numerator 5x minus 30 over 40 plus 2x. That is our final answer. For our next example, we have 1 minus x over 2 divided by 2 minus 4 over x. So let's take care of our numerator first. We're going to put that over 1. Our common denominator there is 2, so that's going to be 2 over 2 minus x over 2. And that's going to give us 2 minus x over 2. The denominator is going to be a little bit different because we have an x in the denominator of this fraction. So we need to find our common denominator. So we need to multiply the top and the bottom of this one by x over x. So that's going to be 2x over x minus 4 over x. We combine these, we get 2x minus 4 over x. Now we have a fraction divided by a fraction, and we're going to do the same thing that we did before. So we keep change flip. That's going to give us 2 minus x over 2 times x over 2x minus 4. So now we just multiply straight across. So this is going to give us 2x minus x squared over 4x minus 8. Now, this is where we're going to stop with this problem, but if you kept on going, there are some ways that you could factor out and simplify this one a little bit more. We're not going to cover that in this section, though. This is all we have for section 4.1. Make sure you're doing your homework and your quizzes. Have a great day.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.